Now let's talk about macro and micro targeting. So first we have to answer the question, what is target marketing? Well, if you've been running a business for any period of time or doing any marketing at all, you know what target marketing is. It's simply identifying the group of people or prospects that would most likely buy or need your products and services. As entrepreneurs, we would love for our target market to be everyone in the world. If everyone in the world needed our product, we're going to get rich, right? Well, that's not realistic. Even broad scope products, like let's say toothbrushes and toothpaste, everyone brushes their teeth, or let's hope they do. And so you'd think the target market for that would be everyone in the world. That's not the case, actually. There are only certain groups of people that are most likely to buy toothbrushes and toothpaste. And I think I saw the data somewhere. It's usually women that make those buying decisions, when they're at the supermarket or they're at kind of a pharmacy. And so companies like Procter and Gamble, even though they make products that are very broad scope for consumers, there's still a target market in that business for each of those product categories. Well, in most of our businesses, our target markets are even more narrow than that. So we need to start by really figuring that out. Otherwise, we can't use our resources and our efforts to kind of find out where those people are, to get in front of them, to then, expose them to our marketing and hopefully sell to those people. So an example of target marketing, at least for what it includes, would be the demographics, right? Like age, gender, location, income, occupation, and many other things, as well as their interests and hobbies. So that's the basics of target marketing. But now we move to macro targeting. Macro targeting would be using the broadest scope of your target marketing demographics and interests. So it's still your target market, but it would be the broadest area of your target market. So kind of the boundaries of it. So let's give you an example. Let's say you sell unique camping and hiking gear. In fact, I'm thinking of a very unique gadget that I saw, I think it was on one of those Shark Tank shows. A guy had invented this walking stick that actually turned into a bow and arrow, a fishing pole. It kind of had a thing that opened up where I think it had like thread or something that could help start a fire. It was this like all-in-one walking stick, kind of hiker's camping tool type thing. And it's a cool product, right? So let's say that's what you sold. And your base target market is men. Even though women may buy the product every now and then, most of your sales are men. So that's really going to be your target market. So it's men, let's say their ages are 20 to 55, and they're usually from either the United States, United Kingdom, or Australia. And they're people that like the outdoors. So if you were targeting them on Facebook or something, you would target people that like the outdoors. So that's kind of your macro targeting. If you take all your sales or most of your sales, they fall into that kind of range of parameters. But now let's move to micro targeting. And you're going to understand why all this is important and how digital marketing has evolved online and why you need to go deeper into your target market and do some things. And micro targeting is what's going to allow us to do that. So micro targeting is using the most narrow scope of the target marketing demographics and interest that produce the majority of our sales. So it may not produce all the sales, but it's a very big chunk. And that can range from, 51% being an actual majority, or maybe sometimes it's, even just 30%. But it's like playing the 80-20 rule. You'll get most of your conversions and really the action from people interacting with your content and things from this smaller group within your target market. And those initially are the people we really want to discover and go after. And you'll understand that in this course when we start looking for and identifying our micro-targeted parameters. So as an example, let's say you sell that hiking or camping gear pole thing that turns into a fishing rod or bow and arrow, whatever. Well, you'll find that in this example, let's say, that your micro-targeted parameters, you end up making most of your sales or a very fat chunk of your sales from men. We already knew that. But now we figure out that it's really aged 35 to 45. It's even though people buy within 20 to 55, like we showed for the macro targeting parameters, the sweet spot is really 35 to 45. We also know that our sweet spot are people that make over 60,000 a year, and they're not even from the United Kingdom or Australia. They're actually from 4 states in the United States is making up most of our sales. And this is all just an example of making up, but let's say it's California, Oregon, Colorado, and Utah. And those are like popular camping, hiking, trail types of states. Well, if we were to find that, half of our sales or a huge chunk of our sales are coming from that group of people, then we need to start tailoring most of our marketing, most of our content and things towards that group of people. Like we could have someone writing blog posts or publishing content about hiking trail guides in California, or the licenses you need to fish in Oregon, or whatever applies to our target market and to the topic at hand that's related to the product that we sell as a solution. So that's what we would want to start doing with our marketing. And the reason why is simple. So why does this even matter? Why not just kind of do the best we can to target market? And if we're able to make sales here and there, even if we're able to turn a profit on traffic we buy, let's say for our general target market, who cares? Well, it matters for several reasons. The more targeted your marketing efforts are, the higher response you're going to achieve every step of the way. So that's first and foremost. And why this matters, you'll get higher click-through rates on your ads. And this is important because all these ad networks, from Google to Facebook to these media buying places and all across the internet, they're running their system on dynamic ad networks, which are run on a net effective CPM rate. Now, I can talk more about this when we get into buying media and how things are priced, but essentially what their job is to maximize the amount of money they make for every ad impression they serve on their network. And so this is typically done with a combination of click-through rate as well as bid price for an ad, because the more let's say someone agrees to pay $5 a click, but they run an ad that's so specific and untargeted, very few people click on it, where someone else says, I'll pay 50 cents a click, and their ad is very targeted and gets clicked on 20, 30 times more than that other ad that's not targeted. Well, the one that's only paying 50 cents a click but gets a higher click-through rate, that's going to bring more money for the publisher, for the one selling the ads. So it matters. So when you can get higher click-through rates on ads, you'll pay less per visitor. We talked about one of the 3 big ways that you'll make more money in your business is if you can lower the average cost per visitor in your business and in your marketing. And this is one way to do it. So you can also get higher opt-in rates. You'll get lower bounce rates. That matters now. We've talked about this a little bit. And of course, higher sales conversions. So your marketing has higher, wait for it, relevance and engagement. You're going to keep hearing these two factors over and over again because this is driving a lot of digital marketing success now, and it's how Facebook, Google, and all these other properties rank and serve content as well as advertising. So it matters a lot that you really go as narrow as possible within your target market to find out who is your sweet spot customer. Now, I do need to say this before I wrap up this lesson. So does that mean we're not going to try to target the other part of our target market? No, that's not the case at all. In fact, we'll get an ancillary benefit when we start doing things to target our sweet spot of the micro-targeted elements. You'll still reach and sell to people outside of those areas, outside of those parameters. But we're going to start with the focus on the micro-targeting, and then when we've exhausted the supply of traffic we can get there and everything else, then we'll move beyond that, and we'll try to broaden our base of trying to get more customers and leads from people outside of that. But there's the rhyme and reason for all this, and you'll understand as it all kind of unfolds.